Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the accounting class. Today, we're going to talk about a concept called internal rate of return, okay, or IRR. So, imagine that you have a small business, okay. You're the manager or the CEO, whichever the case may be, and where you have in front of you two projects. You get your project A and you get your project B. But both project A and B, they require an initial investment of $90,000. And both projects are going to generate cash flow over a period of 5 years. But the cash flow for each project, they're going to differ. Now, how are you going to make that your decision to to choose between those projects? So this is where you that the internal rate of return will come handy. If you know your IRR, okay, for each project, it's going to be easier for you to make that decision. And also, in this case, in this problem, the company that is considering those two projects, the company has what they call a hurdle rate of 12%. The hurdle rate is the minimum rate that the company, that any project that the company is going to undertake, that those projects have to generate at least 12%. If a project generates a rate of return that is below the hurdle rate, the company is going to reject that project. It's not feasible for the company. Now, in the course of this project, we're going to talk about net present value. We're going to talk obviously the internal rate of return that we need to know. And once we determine the internal rate of return, we're going to compare both rates for project A and B to see to determine which one is higher. And when you compare and you're going to compare the higher one, okay, internal rate of return with the company hurdle rate. Hopefully that rate that we're going to choose, which is going to be the higher one, will be greater. Okay, hopefully the IRR is going to be greater than 12%. Otherwise, those projects are not viable, they're not feasible. Now, to be to solve this problem, we're going to lay your data like that. You have both project A and B, and both require $90,000, and both have cash flow over 5 year period. One. Step two. What is the IRR? We talk about IRR, internal rate of return. This is the rate, the discount rate that makes the net present value equal to zero. Or this is what they call the break even. This is the rate of return that will give you a break even, that will lead you to break even. Okay, meaning your net present value equal to zero. And this is the formula. This is the rate you want that will give you the break even where you don't lose any money. Your net present value is going to equal to zero. You get your initial investment, which is negative because you're going to disburse money. Okay, it's outflow of capital, and this expression is the present value for all the cash flows from year one to year five. Okay, we talk about the hurdle rate and step three. This is the way you're going to lay out your problem. You have to note that this expression is your n. I. This expression is going to be, okay, the NPV. This is your initial investment, $90,000, and this is all the cash flows. Okay, year one, year two, year three, year four, year five. This is for your project A. Now, you want to determine the net present value, but you have a problem. You don't know the R, the internal rate. Which rate is going to give you that break even? So there are a couple of methods that you can use to find that. You can use a trial and error method, which is a long method. To be able to use that method, you arbitrarily choose a rate, you guess a rate. Usually they start at 10%. You put 10%, okay, all over here. And you see what NPVs you're going to get. If your NPV after using the guess rate, the 10%, if your NPV is positive, okay, meaning the present value of all your cash flows from year one to year five is greater than 90,000, what you're going to do, you're going to increase the guess rate. That means you're going to choose a rate that is going to be greater than zero point 0.1. If, on the other hand, you get NPV, which is got negative value when you use the 10%, that means the present value of all your cash flow is less than your initial investment. What you're going to do, you're going to use a lower discount rate, which is less than zero point 0.1. And that's the way you're going to adjust it. In this case, for project A, we found that IRR is going to equal a 13.02. I'm going to show you that. Okay. You're going to eat the same layout for project B. It's the same process, but we want to show you now to be able to solve that. You can either use a calculator. Okay, business calculator is going to easily, once you enter the cash flow values, and it's going to give you the internal rate of return, or you can use Excel. Okay, here is an example of an Excel sheet that I create. This is your column. No, this is your line. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 12 row, and you have A, B, C, and five column. Okay, so you have 5 column and 12 row, and you're going to put your data like this. Your year, we put year zero. That's the year you make that investment, $90,000, and in year one to year five, these are the years for the cash flow. Okay, you're going to get out of the project. And when you're using Excel, this is the formula you're going to use, IRR. Okay, I assume all of you know how to use Excel, formula in Excel. You're going to put your equal sign, and you're going to put IRR, and you're going to put C2 to C7, this column. Okay, C2 to C7. Note that this This rate 0.1, which is 10%, is optional. You may not, you can choose not to put it, but it's a guessing rate. It's the same way when you use that the a trial and error. But in Excel, you don't. It's not necessary. You don't need to put it. But here we put it. You put all your data from your initial investment and all the way to the last cash flow that you get, and you put. But okay, you have that, and you do the same for that one, and your net present value. So for here in this project, okay, we're going to get 12.02. Here we get 13.02%, okay, and here 11.36, 11.36%. Okay, this is the IRR for both projects. Now, the once you get the IRR, it's not necessary to even calculate the NPV, but as proof, okay, you use that formula NPV where you put C10, which is the IRR. This is the rate that you get, and this time, okay, and you're going to put the array C2 to C7, C2 to C7, and D2 to D2 to D7. Now, and here we find that we get 13.2% for project A and 11.36. From what we know, okay, this project A gave you 13.02%, okay, and this one for project B 11.36, 11.36, okay, 11.36%. So you can clearly see that project A is better than project B because the internal rate of return, okay, is 13.3 or 0.2%. So therefore, project A is better. Okay, since project A generates 0.3% and 0.36%, okay, and project A, IRR, is greater than the hurdle rate, which is 12%. The minimum rate required by the company is 12%. Okay, so you can say project A is better. So project A is a better choice because it generates an internal rate of return that is greater than 12%, greater than B and greater than 12%. So in conclusion, what are the takeaways? In order to be able, if you when you're facing two projects and that require an initial investment and that will generate cash flow over a period of time, to be able and you have a minimum required rate, which is the hurdle rate. Okay, the tool that you're going to use to be able to make that decision is the IRR that will help you determine which rate is better. Okay, so in this case, we know that A, okay, is better. IRR is greater than the 12%, greater than the hurdle rate. So it is better. Okay. So the company is going to choose to implement project A. Okay. So uh, this is not difficult. Okay. And but it requires a little bit, of understanding of the problem to be able to, you know, to solve the project. But it is not difficult. So this is all that I have today. But if you want to learn more about finance and investing, and I invite you to like and subscribe. Okay, to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and also hit the bell icon for more insight. And please also drop some comment. And I have a question for you: which project would you choose? Okay, we know that project A generate an internal rate of return of 12%, which is a greater than 12%, which is greater than the hurdle rate. And project B is less than that. So according to the data, we should choose A. But in your case, what do you think? Which one would you choose? So let's discuss. So this is all what I have, and see you in the next video. Bye.